Coming up on this LevinTV, a special LevinTV, our book signing at the Reagan Library. And let me tell you something. We received, this is just a sampling of what we received of the wonderful, wonderful people, the cross-section of America, gentlemen from the Chicago Police Department, Sacramento County Sheriff's Office. I'm just giving you some examples. San Diego County Sheriffs, the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, Long Beach Police. We got all kinds of wonderful coins from people who have served and are serving in the military. Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. This is a group with the fallen. God bless them. A Brotherhood for the Fallen. And so many wonderful people from so many walks of life attended our book signing. And this is just a small example of the patriots who came out. And I think, as I've said before, something is stirring out there. So take a look. This is our book signing at the Reagan Library, and it all starts now.
Hey Mark, Scott Rockholm from Idaho. Flew all the way down here from North Idaho to see you.
Mark Levin, we love you here in California.
San Francisco, California says hello.
Hi Mark, we love you. We love you, Mark.
We're here at the Reagan Library, the famous Reagan Library, where we have thousands of people that adore Mark Levin and are here to see Mark, say hello to him, buy his newest book.
I'm here to support this book.
Mark, thank you for this.
I can't wait for my book to get signed.
He's our rock star.
The fact that Mark's doing this event here in the Reagan Library, which I know is one of his favorite places, is really special.
It's always a showstopper when Mark shows up. Mark started the tradition years ago when he writes a new book to come to the Reagan Library to help release it. And we are so proud, so happy to have him here again with his beautiful wife, Julie. It makes for a special day here. It's Levin Day at the Reagan Library, and we're just delighted to have Mark here.
How's our team? Rick, go for it.
Hello, Facebook.
The things he says are very important, but also I love the way he says it.
We really need the Marks of the world to stand up and keep speaking about the truth.
How y'all doing?
From Men in Black to Unfreedom of the Press, Mark makes fighting government so much fun.
For my birthday, this is where I wanted to come to see Mark. I'm so excited.
It's nice to have him around because he keeps us educated and informed.
He's syndicated, he's everywhere, he writes fantastic books.
The books that he writes, the radio programs, the television.
Go Blaze TV.
And the venue at the Reagan Library cannot be beaten.
Love your show.
This is my fourth book signing.
I hear his voice very often on radio, and it's nice to see him in person.
He's an educator as well as an entertainer.
To us, he's a patriot.
I love you.
You turned me into a political animal I never used to be.
We just want everybody to watch his show.
He's the man. He's taught me so much more than I ever knew about American history.
How are you?
Thank you for coming, Mark.
Nice hat.
He is the voice of freedom. He's the voice of our Constitution.
I'll see you inside. There you go. God bless you.
It's a twofer. Right here to see the Reagan Library for the first time and meet Mark. How much better does it get than that?
Well, you got here early.
How's everybody? Woo! All right. I want to thank you all for coming. Just pass the word down the line here. It's always a great honor to come here and a great honor to be with you folks. That you would take time off on your Saturday to come here is a great honor for me. And I know we're surrounded by patriots here who believe in this country and this Constitution. And I don't think the media have any idea what's stirring out here. Just so you know, this is my fourth and last book signing. And everywhere I've gone, there's been a couple of thousand people who've turned out. This is the biggest, but a couple of thousand people who've turned out. So I want you to know there's an army of us. We're going to do everything we can to save this country. And I truly believe that's what we're talking about. So I want to thank you all. I'll get started so the end of the line can work its way through. But God bless you all.
I love
Pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.
They're here from Massachusetts.
Holy mackerel.
Just drove in from Phoenix.
We came out from Palm Springs today.
Real Palm Springs?
Came from Tennessee.
Where?
Outside of Nashville.
How are you
All
today?
the way from Silicon Valley.
Wow.
You won't come to us, so we have to go to you.
We came all the way from Philadelphia to see
Really?
you. Yes, we live in Doylestown and Lansdale.
Cheltenham.
Yep, I know.
Come on up.
Hi, Mark.
Hey, big guy.
Hi, I'm Evan from Covina.
You are?
I got your endorsement.
I remember Evan.
To run against Jerry Nadler.
Yes.
Very
How
nice
are
to
you?
meet you, sir.
Good. How are you doing?
How old are you again?
10.
You have to wait a little while.
I want to go to Hillsdale, honestly.
Is that right?
Yes.
Why is that?
They don't take government funding. They don't end up with the crappy teachers. It's straightforward constitutional study.
What about the Constitution do you like?
That we're the only one that has it. And that rubbing it in the liberals' faces when they try to take it away. We study it more.
What do you say to people who are speaking against our Constitution?
They need to just suck it up, Buttercup.
Give me a 5. How are you, Zach? How old are you?
I'm 13.
How are you today?
This is their third time.
You know what? You're getting so big now.
How old are you? I'm 16.
You helped us raise 2 conservative kids. I didn't think any of it stuck until my daughter joins Turning Point USA.
You inspired my daughter to go to Hillsdale.
How are you, young man?
Pretty good. How about you? Navy pilot, retired airline pilot. Got my son here. We love everything you do. That's
Thank
right.
you.
I said it.
He's followed you since high school.
Wow.
My son is more conservative than I am, partially because of you.
Thank you.
I started listening to you when I was 18.
My son last year in preschool would come home almost daily with little drawings, and half the time they'd be of Mark.
My name's Mark
And?
I was named after him.
Really?
Oh, that's so sweet.
His idea.
You are something. What a beautiful family. Thank you.
So nice
It's a
to
pleasure.
see
You too. How are you today?
Hi,
Nice
good.
to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you.
How are you? Pleasure.
My name's Taylor. I'm from Tarzana, and I came to see Mark's lecture today. I listened to him on AM 870, and I'd like to catch him on Life, Liberty, and Levin too on Fox. My background is in automotive journalism, so I like to write about cars and building horsepower. I really like old sort of 60s muscle car era stuff, and anything that has to do with horsepower, building horsepower. I'm not really into cosmetics, but just, the sound, the smell, the torque. I just want him to keep doing what he's doing. Some of the segments that I've seen on his show have really changed my opinions. The one show that he did about socialized healthcare was a huge eye-opener for me, and really, it not only helps me develop my own principles and stuff, but it helps me explain it to other people how I feel and why I feel that way, and having some sort of information to back it up. It's really useful, and so I just hope he keeps doing what he's doing, because it's really great.
How you doing? Good to see you, man.
Awesome to meet you.
Thank you.
How are you?
You got a busy day ahead of you. I'm doing fabulous.
How tall are you?
Great to be here. 6'4".
I knew you were big.
You got a lot of stamina to be here and do all this all day
I
long.
figured people are going to come out and meet me.
There you go.
I should do my thing.
All right, we love you, man.
Finally. How are you doing?
Good. Good to be back.
How are you today?
How was your hand today, Mark?
Great. Tell you.
You getting tired yet?
No.
No?
Not with all these patriots. It's invigorating.
Hi, Mark.
How are you today?
God bless you.
How are you today?
Mark, thank you.
My 4th time.
Wow.
This is my 4th with signing. This is our 4th time.
You brought my wife from liberal to conservative.
Really?
Made my day. Actually, my life.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Your biggest fan in LA?
Really?
Yes.
Thank you.
I listen to you every day.
This is Jamie. Jamie, John, how are you guys? How are you today? It's a pleasure to see you.
A great one.
Good to see you. No, get up. Good. How are
Thank you
you?
for doing what you do.
It's a pleasure. Mine too. Really honored.
California is full of fruits and nuts, but us deplorables love you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I said it.
I wonder if anybody told you were an inspiration for a tattoo.
So I was at the Reagan Library here in 2010. Ronald Reagan was always my favorite president, and he's got a flag with an eagle tattoo. and his favorite saying is peace through strength. So listening to Mark Levin and looking at that, I got the idea to change peace to liberty. Mark's a big advocate of liberty, so the tattoo says liberty through strength.
How are you?
How are you doing?
Yankee Stadium over here, huh?
Well, I'm from Vegas.
Oh.
We drove up here this morning.
Oh, wow.
That's a nice drive. Yeah.
It's a long drive.
Yes, it was.
Thank you. Is that your girlfriend?
No, my mother.
Oh, you run?
Occasionally when I have to.
How far do you run?
Me, I'm more of a 5K guy.
I'm an okay guy.
I know.
Keep fighting the good fight.
Kennedy calls him the great one. Thank you. Thank you for
The great
your
big one.
No, I didn't.
You know who you look like, right?
I know.
Yeah.
You told me.
You must get that
All right. I love the pillow. Boy, he's got a radio voice.
Mr. Levin,
How are
thank
big
you.
guy?
Well, I appreciate the thought. I've got a radio face.
Hey, handsome.
Thank you. I like you.
I like you too. Listen, do me a favor.
I don't know.
Canadian citizen, but I'm a constitutional Republican
Isn't
in my
that
heart.
interesting?
Can't get rid of Trudeau this fall. I'm going to move down here and join the fight.
That would be good.
Good house.
The way you do it is you go south, sneak across the border, and then you'll be in. Otherwise, it'll take you 14 years. Good to see you.
Mother, daughter.
Yes.
Sisters.
Mother.
Sisters.
Yeah.
Mommy.
Mommy. Yeah.
Oh,
how beautiful.
That is beautiful.
This is from synagogue was destroyed in Tehran.
Really?
And yes, and I got 3 and I give you 1.
Oh,
this
thank
is,
you.
Look here, this is for
That's very sweet of you.
My Hebrew.
Thank you.
It was
Don't drop that.
We're so honored to meet
Where you guys from?
From
Oh,
Poland.
wow.
What country?
El Salvador.
El Salvador.
She knows Spanish. I don't know.
Okay.
That's
Thank you
good.
very much.
Thank you.
You're the best.
Thank you.
I don't know, Mexicans love you.
What's that? Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is wonderful.
That's real. Where were you? No?
Thank you.
No Jorge Ramos, okay?
Yeah, right. Now, trust me on that one. How are you?
Buenas tardes, maestro.
Buenas tardes a usted.
Bien, gracias.
No temblando. Iraqi? Yes.
I'm the first.
Oh, God bless you. Iranian, yeah. Iraqi, no.
I'm Iranian,
Iranian,
I'm Persian, Iranian, Iraqi, and American and British.
Wow.
I have 4 passports.
Well, good to meet you all. Take care.
I'm Julie.
How are you? What's your name? It's a pleasure. Julie, good to see you. Young man, what's your name? How are you? It's a pleasure. Good to hear you.
My dad was a political prisoner in Cuba. He was in prison for 9.5 years. He came in the 80s through the Mariel boat lift. He did not speak English. And I spoke to him about Mark Levin, and he thought he was fantastic, of course. I would tell him, Dad, he says, all the stuff you've taught me, it's just in English. He never really wanted us to send anything to Cuba or do anything that way because it's supporting the Castro regime. He really disliked Obama a lot. He taught me a lot, so listening to Mark is like listening to my dad. I joke because I'm like, oh, he's my Jewish dad. He passed a couple months before Mark Levin's dad passed. It's a big deal to be here, so thank you.
Special part about today was taking Mark and his beautiful wife Julie to the Levin bench, a beautiful wooden bench that faces a green valley below and has a view of the Pacific Ocean. It's a bench dedicated to Jack and Norma Levin, Mark's parents, who unfortunately passed in this past year.
How are you today?
Retired Navy.
God bless you, man. And the Navy wife.
Navy.
Thank you for your service.
20 years, 20 days.
Wow.
How you doing, Mark?
Awesome.
How are you? It's a pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure.
Retired LAPD officer.
Thank you for your
You are?
service.
Yep. Thank you.
Yes, this is going to a 70-year-old vet, Vietnam vet. He's going to jump like a gazelle when he gets this.
Wanted to thank you for supporting law enforcement.
Well, it's not hard.
I wanted to, this was
thank you.
worn by me for 30 years.
Thank you.
You sure you want to give it to me?
I got others, but I'd like you to have that. Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for everything you do.
This man's military right here. And
Thank you for
law
your
enforcement.
Thank you. That's a
Two
twofer.
times.
My brothers and I have 40 years of combined service in the Navy.
Gosh.
This is from World War II, from Naval Officers Garrison.
No, I want you to keep it.
We want you to keep that.
You sure?
You got to read this book.
All right.
Here, I'll take that.
Let's make sure we don't lose
I
that.
know exactly where to put it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How are you?
Hi, Mark.
It's an honor. It's a pleasure.
This is your husband, John.
Wow.
We want to salute you.
Yes, ma'am.
Mark. You're the best,
God
Mark.
bless you.
My husband loves you more than he loves me.
No way.
No.
Great Marines.
John and Marlene Linsolato are from Yucaipa, California.
We met in the Marine Corps in 1979. We've been married 37 years. We're veterans now. We've been out for almost 30 years.
The reason why we still wear these is we do honor detail at Riverside National Cemetery.
New burials, yeah.
You know, a lot of veterans are going without full honors, and there's about 60 of us that are, you know, doing this. If we weren't to do it, they would go without.
They would, the only thing they would have would be 2 people folding the flag, no rifle salute, and no taps. So our team, we provide full honors. We've been in the unit 7 years. I've done close to 900 burials. And I've been out since '91. I never thought ever again would I be in Just Blues. Our unit is called Again They Serve because we are serving our country again. And we have people, Korean War veterans and Vietnam veterans.
World War II and Korean War veterans are passing at an alarming rate, and they're the ones who really deserve all of this. And it's just a blessing that we can do this and serve again. And it's like I feel more active duty than I ever had in the past.
Glad you brought your beautiful wife. She compliments
Everywhere.
you very nicely. Thank you.
My wife.
Cute.
You think I just picked her up today? I appreciate it. Take care.
He's my husband.
Oh, you're my
Mrs.
daughter.
Levin.
How are you?
Well, are you the wife?
I am the wife.
I love it. I hear about you all the time.
We're Paul and Paula from Nashville, Tennessee. The year Ronald Reagan was elected is the year we got married, and I've always believed in conservative values and all, and I love that Mark stands up for those values today, and I think that's what we need in our country, and so we're huge supporters.
That's right, because Reagan really was the first politician to make me interested in really getting involved in politics, and we helped Marcia Blackburn get elected in Tennessee.
Yeah, Marcia's a friend of ours who Mark likes.
She's our new senator. We hope now we won't have another rhino.
We're Levinites, right, Paula?
Yeah, totally.
And she's a songwriter, so she's going to write a new theme song for Mark.
I got one thing to say, Reagan or bust.
It's a pleasure.
Pleasure's all mine, sir.
We were here 2 years ago. It's like we're in a Wayback Machine seeing John Adams.
I coined you as John Adams.
Thanks for coming back. Yes, we were here 2 years ago as well. Thank you so very much for everything you do, Mr. Levin. We love seeing you. We love seeing you. Thank you so much, Mr. Levin.
How are you?
Great to see you again.
You too.
Told you last time that I would die by your side defending your honor, and I mean to include you in that. I would die by your side defending your honor. You mean that much to me.
Thank you.
I apologize. I did.
No, don't be silly. We appreciate you coming out.
Thank you.
Yes, remember you signed this for me last year?
My copy of the Constitution, introduction by Ronald Reagan, and I would be honored if you would sign.
I'm happy to. I don't remember that, but I remember you.
You do?
Yes,
How
of course.
about that?
Do you?
Hi, ladies. We're back. The crazy Clark.
No, we're sisters.
Oh, we were here 2 years ago.
Hey, ladies.
Nice to meet you.
All decked out with T-shirts there?
Yeah, they made one of those for me because I came.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, the singers are here.
Last book signing, we recited the Gaines Book Address. Twist the Loss of Nature and Nature's God entitled. This time at this book signing, we recited the last 2 paragraphs of Mark Levin's father's book, Malice Toward None, Abraham Lincoln's speech. Fondly do we hope, fervently do we pray, that this mighty scourge of war may speedily pass away. Yet, if God wills that it continue, until all the wealth piled by the bondman's 250 years of unrequited toil shall be sunk, and until every drop of blood drawn with the lash shall be paid by another drawn with the sword, as was said 3,000 years ago, so it still must be said. The judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. With malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right, as God gives us to see the right. Let us strive on to finish the work we are in, to bind up the nation's wounds, to care for him who shall have borne the battle, and for his widow, and his orphan, to do all which may achieve and cherish a just and lasting peace among ourselves and with all nations.
Amen. Wonderful.
Good job, Mom.
You ladies are unbelievable.
They know the whole thing.
Thank you.
I love you.
You're a sweetheart.
I love you.
You're a sweetheart. Thank
Keep
you.
up the good work.
Thank
Please, honey.
you.
You're doing good for us.
We will.
I'm Ann Dugan, and I'm from Downey, California. I'm here to see my man, Mark Levin. I watch him every Sunday and hear him every day on his program. I love that guy. I pray for him every day and time for him.
And yell harder.
Here. That's for you.
Yeah, raise your voice a lot.
God bless you, sweetie.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you. How are you? Pleasure to see you.
I want you to know I'm just about 91 and I still work. And this is her favorite thing to do is to be signing.
Me too. See ya.
Thank you so much. This is my bucket list.
How you doing, big guy? How are you today? It's a pleasure.
God bless you.
Aren't you a sweetheart? How are you doing, sir? It's an honor. I hope you have a flash right off the top of my head, you know. Reagan Bush, good to see you, man.
Don't forget UFC tonight.
Hey, what?
UFC
Oh,
tonight.
really?
Yeah.
What's the big fight?
Henry Cejudo against Morales.
Supposed to be a good fight.
And then a girl fight.
I close my eyes on that stuff.
Thank you for the education, and I am never bored with your radio show.
I was flying around the world listening to you every night on podcast.
You what now?
I was a pilot. I used to listen to you in the airplane for hours and hours and hours.
That's kind of cool.
Thank you.
I was a Navy guy too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Jan Bashani, and I'm a retired airline pilot. I used to fly around the world for the last 30 years, so I download his podcast every time and take it with me. Read all his books. He turned me into a political animal. I never used to be. I flew in the Navy originally, and back when Carter was the president, and then when Reagan was the president. But I really wasn't political back then. I was a young man, wild and crazy. And then I went to pilot training, flew jets off the Saratoga and the Kennedy for 7 years, and got out and got hired right away at FedEx. And 33 years later, I retired. I thought I was going to be a marine biologist. I figured out it didn't pay anything. I ended up doing what I really wanted to do anyway. So it's a long, crazy story. Over the years, I got more and more conservative. I grew up in upstate New York as a Democrat. You know, Kennedy, my parents were all Democrats. My brother and sister were Democrats. But I moved away when I joined the Navy, and I never looked back. And then with the advent of talk radio, it was inevitable. Once I started listening to talk radio, so that was the end of me.
We're the Westfall family, my two daughters, my son-in-law, my husband, and we all are big Mark Levin fans. Chase is also an American hero. He is a Marine, and he was 5 years, and he was deployed 3 times.
And now he's Army Reserve.
Being in the military was actually probably one of the funnest times I had in my life. That's why I decided to do it twice. I was in the infantry, served on 3 different deployments for 1st Battalion, 5th Marines. It was a Section 8 for Combined Anti-Armor Team, so it was pretty good. If you look at wars in the past from World War II all the way up until now, a lot of people don't really talk about things. And I think the big transition between my generation of warfighters versus past is that we're starting to open up a lot more about who we are, what our experiences are, and actually letting the American population know what we've done and what type of values that we hold. With the political mindset, I think that we need to start having more veterans step up and actually be a part of the bureaucracy of this country. Because if you take examples like Dan Crenshaw, who's an amazing American with everything that he's done, but he actually says it like it is, and he wants people to be informed, unlike other senators and congressmen who'd rather just take the money and just say, you know, we're going to do what we're going to do on the backside, and that's that. Yeah, I think a lot of veterans have views similar to mine, and others don't, but they're all very passionate, and that's why they're going back to school. That's why they're trying to get involved with their communities. I think that you're going to see another greatest generation in the next few years. We're really going to take that step.
Pleasure. How are you?
Hi, Mark. I listen to you on the radio. I'm a truck driver, so I'm
Thank you.
Sure nice. You're
How
awesome.
old are you? Well, you're big. Nice to meet you.
Keep it up.
Wow, quite trippy.
Minnesota?
Yep.
Holy
Local
mackerel.
344 and local 638 truck drivers.
God bless you guys.
Support you.
I think a lot of good truck drivers we get. Yeah.
Nice to meet you, sir.
How are you today?
I'm a trucker friend from upstate New York. He met me in bookends with my German Shepherd.
I remember you. How are you?
I'm just fine.
How's the dog?
He's wonderful.
Good.
My name is Quentin Miles from upstate New York. I'm a trucker friend. I've been doing it for 37 years, and I still love it. I'm hoping I might have another 10 years left. Well, we left upstate New York last Sunday. We made it and checked in the motel about 12 midnight last night, and it's been a journey.
When you cut through all the noise, you find the one that really tells the truth. 2 years ago, he said it was a presidential coup, and he is correct.
We're getting more and more ticked off at the press, which is why this is so
This is good.
We need to be able to have free thought in our schools.
They're being manipulated, first of all, through the media.
We should appreciate this great country of ours, which I think is being lost in the colleges.
She has had professors that have tried to indoctrinate her.
People no longer know our history about the wars we fought in, about our founding fathers.
And this is the issue, and this is why you have kids that come out and they vote the way that they do.
I thought we were alone here. You know, we were on the down low incognito, you know, the only two conservatives left. Apparently there's others out there like us. We're on the hunt for them.
So what's going on in your house that makes you a conservative kid?
All of those wonderful people right there. They fought and died for this country so we can have liberty and freedom. And they don't understand what liberty and freedom is. And until you lose it, you don't know. You don't know what it is until it's gone.
It's what made America great. And we plan on keeping it that way.
We're ready to march. We need
Mark
to pick a date and we'll be there. We'll march in Washington. We'd love to do that.
Well, that's it. I hope you've enjoyed our series, the book signings, the interviews, the questions and answers at the Reagan Library. I'll tell you, we go there every 2 years. I could go there every other week. I really could. It's an awe-inspiring place. The people who come are just vigorous and exciting and patriotic. They really get my blood flowing, and that's all you folks too. And I can tell you we're projecting into that room as well. Every 2 years is not enough, but it's better than nothing. And I want to thank the folks at the Reagan Library. And if you ever do get to the Reagan Library, make sure you visit the gravesite of the President and the First Lady, Ronald and Nancy Reagan. And then mosey on down a little bit further and you'll see a bench that is dedicated to Jack and Norma Levin, my parents as well. And if you decide to walk into the auditorium, you'll see a painting on the right side of Ronald Reagan. That painting was painted by my father, Jack, as well. You'll love that library. It's a wonderful place to go. And I cannot thank you all enough. Those of you who attended, all of you who've been watching, and God bless you.